Okie dokie, let's go over here. Are we ready? Get your eye bogies. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to teach your horse to be ridden bridleless. So I'm here with Slim. This is an extremely requested video that people have been requesting for about the last year, and the reason I have delayed it quite a bit is because Slim was still learning it, but I think now is a really good time to make a tutorial because he's at a point where he knows what everything means, but he still makes mistakes. So it will be good to show sort of how it should look like, but also how to correct when he maybe gets some things wrong. So hopefully this will be good. So all you're going to need for this is, well, you don't need all of these things, but the tools I would recommend is, number one, a neck strap. Just your normal sort of what you wear to steer your horse. So most people, that's a bridle. In my case, this is just a side pull bitless bridle. A whip. I personally like these padded ones because obviously you don't want to be hitting your horse hard, but I'll show you in a minute how you would use it. But I prefer these padded ones because they just don't hurt, but they also make a noise and you can feel them, but it's not a painful one. And also treats, because this method is using positive reinforcement. You can do it without, but I find that the horses are a lot more motivated to learn. They want to sort of work for you a lot more and they learn it a lot quicker when there's a positive factor. I think of it as you only go to work because you get paid. That doesn't mean you hate your job, but it gives you a reason to be enthusiastic, if that makes sense. So the first sort of step would be, actually, I'm not going to use the whip to start with. Oh my gosh, I almost hit the camera. That was close. So this is basically teaching your horse to turn left, right and backwards with the neck strap. So you start off on the ground, you have your reins and your neck strap, head up. So for example, if I want him to turn towards, I pull on the neck strap, and he knows this quite well. But then if he wouldn't, then you would just help by pulling on the rein. And then the same in the other direction, you grab the neck strap, you pull this way, then if they don't, you just pull with the rein, and until they take just like one step to that direction. So you can do this from both sides. They won't obviously be perfect to start with, so I just ask for this way, then I would pull on that rein. He is a little taller than what I'm used to, so if you've got a big horse you do have to reach quite high. And this step isn't mandatory, but it does just start teaching your horse from the ground like to respond to the pressure on the neck, but you can do it directly from when you're riding them. And then the same for backing up, which is also your stopping command. You just pull directly back, and he knows it quite well, but if he didn't, I would just pull on the bridle to help and then give them a treat to let them know that that's what you want. So that's kind of the first part that you do on the ground. So I'm going to go get my helmet and get on him, and then I'll show you how to kind of progress it to being ridden with also your leg commands and a few other things. Right, let me see if I can get on from here. Okie dokie, I am aboard my horse. So you've got quite a few different ways to teach this, or how I like to call different aids. You've got your legs to steer by squeezing on their side. You've got the neck strap to turn, stand, and you've got the whip. So those are the main ones, and then obviously you've got your bridle to teach them what you want. So I use a bit of everything. I think like I kind of would eventually like to not have to rely on all of them, but I use a bit of my leg, a bit of the neck strap and a bit of the whip, although I would like to eventually not need the whip because he is still in the process of learning it. So imagine you want your horse to listen mostly off the neck strap. That's what you start with. So you would start by asking. So this is actually something that he sometimes is not very good at. He knows that I'm asking him to turn, but he doesn't know which direction. So this might be something that happens with your horse. So I would ask for this direction with the neck strap, then with my leg, with the rein, with the whip. You can kind of choose which order you add each thing, and you can basically which one you want to use the most. So if you want your horse to listen to like mainly your leg, then the neck strap, then the whip, then the rein. I would always say use the reins last because the goal is bridleless, so you won't have a bridle to help you. Standing. Let's make sure we're pointing to the camera. Or if you want your horse to just listen off leg, then you would push with your leg, then tell them to turn. And then also make sure you're giving them treats. I'm not giving him as many treats because I'm busy talking. I need to finish blabbering, give you your rewards. So some people, if you don't want to use the neck strap at all, you can go just off your leg in the whip, and then you don't touch the neck strap at all, or don't even have one. Then you push, and then the whip, the way that I use it is just pushing, tapping, or just holding it against him on his kind of side to help him turn away. I find that helped me a lot, which horses do prefer to be pushed than pulled, but it does depend on the horse, the person, all that. So yeah, it is basically the main sort of thing to remember is you give them your command. So like I'm using these because these are the most common ones, these are what seem most obvious to me, but maybe you would want to teach your horse it with voice commands. You say left and right. It would be the same principles. You would say left, then if you want them to just do it off the word, you say left and then you turn them left. Or you could say left, then press with your right leg to push them over, and use the whip on this side to like help turn them. Or you could just say, for example, I don't use voice commands for turning, but imagine if I did, I would say left, I would turn him left, even though he didn't do it because of the word, he did it because I told him, and then I would give him a treat. Even though he didn't do it because I said it, he'll start linking it. And then I could say right, right, turn him right, then give him a treat. And then slowly they start linking. She said the word right, I turned in this direction, and then I got a treat. So that's kind of basically how your horse's brain works. Then with backing up and stopping, this is actually what I taught him first because it's what I find the most important. I did this out on a hack because that's where he's best at just walking. So I just walk, then I pull, or in my case I go woo, and I kind of stick my legs forward and lean back a bit, and then I pulled on the reins, and as soon as he stopped I gave him a treat. So I think that's one of the, I'd say start with that, because you can literally just do it while you're riding. You can be out on a hack, have a neck strap on, and for example just randomly, it doesn't have to be like when there's a car coming or anything, just randomly pull on the neck strap, say woo, and then tell them to stand. Some horses, he got this really quickly. He got it in one session on one hack. By the end of it, he was stopping perfectly. But then on the other hand, for him, the turning, this has taken him months. So your horse might be the other way around, it might be the same. Everything might take them a long time. Sorry, am I being boring? I'm not shutting up, I'll shut up soon. So it does depend on the horse. But yeah, so I'm just going to show you one more time. I ask with the neck strap, which he's started getting really good at it. So you just whoo, and then for example if I wanted to go this way, I ask this way, whoo. So this is something that I said he does. He knows I'm asking whoo, stand, but he goes the wrong way. So I ask for this way, whoo. So you obviously don't give them a treat when they get it wrong. And there I had to just give him a bit of a whoo, good boy. And then when he does get it right, make sure to mark that so that they know that they've done well. So they know that's the right thing, and then they're more likely to do it next time. So you saw then, stand, whoo. Let me get off because he keeps on turning his bum to the camera. He wants to show you all his nice juicy bum. So before I used the whip literally just up against his neck like this. As you can see, I wasn't hitting him hard. It's not like it didn't make any noise. It was just a super gentle little tap, tap, tap. You can do it, some horses are better. I know some people do it like on their nose there. I personally don't like doing it there. I prefer doing it like up here on their neck. Like maybe some people would do it on the shoulder. I find I prefer doing it here. But some people do it on the nose, on the face, I don't know. I'm always a bit scared that I'm going to hit him in the eyeball, which is obviously, make sure you don't hit your horse in the eyeball. Don't think they'll be very happy with that. So I like to do it on the neck. But yeah, if you have any more questions, I think I have said all the points that I was trying to remember that I would say. But if you're teaching this to your horse and you're having a problem with anything, comment it below and I will do my best to give you my advice. Or you can message it to me on Instagram, or there's my email in my description. So feel free to ask if you are having any problems with this or with any other teaching your horse stuff. I teach quite a lot of tricks, so I might be able to help you with that. And if you teach this to your horse and you post a video of it, I would obviously love to see it. So if you would like to, you can tag me, you can send it to me, to my email, to my Instagram. Obviously you don't have to, but I would love to see. We seem to be creeping backwards. Are we walking backwards, darling? But yeah, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please consider liking or subscribing, or just leaving a comment saying what you thought of it, because that all helps me out so much. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Bye. You've got a tick. Felt a weird lump. What's this? You've got a lump. Wait. No, it's not. I think maybe you lied down on a stinging nettle or something. You're itching your nose on the floor. Right, you've been so good. Yes, you have. You've been so good. Do you want a treat? Here you go. Lovely, lovely pony. You're so good. Nice. Fantastic. Wonderful.